Hi, my name is Lauren Olson. I am the Zero Waste Manager at Centric, and we'll be joined today by Plant Life Meals to talk about their vegan food delivery service. So, really looking forward to talking with them. They're based out of the Seattle area. And we're just connecting with Plant Life Meals.
Hello.
Hi,
Hello.
good morning.
Good
How are you doing?
morning.
Doing well. How are you?
Good, good. Still getting my morning coffee in, hope you don't mind.
No,
Oh, hey, we've
not
got
at all.
we're all
Little,
about
All right.
coffee
little
up
espresso.
here in the PNW.
Yes.
So I'm Lauren Olson, the Zero Waste Manager at Centric. We make compostable food serviceware, and everything we make is from plants and meant to be composted in commercial composting systems. But I would love to hear about Plant Life Meals and who you guys are.
Yes. So, um, we love what you guys do. Obviously, we're big supporters and look at you guys really as partners. Um, Plant Life Meals is you could call us a mission-based company. It's really what drives us. We're very focused on these aspects of the planet that we impact. And so, our biggest offer, essentially, our core competency is plant-based food. We've veganized I don't know how many different types of meals. Um, and
I love that verb, veganized.
yeah, yeah, and still learning. We
Yeah.
launched the operation in October of 2019, officially. Prior to that, we spent quite a bit of time building out the back end to ensure we could really take on and scale and make the impact we wanted to. Um, I was at Google prior to this. Elizabeth was at Fred Hutch doing cancer research.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
a specific type of cancer. I'll let Liz explain that.
Oh,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, so I've been in public health research basically my whole career, specifically working in large studies looking at specifically colorectal cancer. Um,
Mm.
Yeah, and so I would come home and talk to David about my day and just feeling so disheartened that there was nothing I could do with, the people that I was meeting. They had been recently diagnosed, so maybe within a few days or maybe that day. And I just knew the
Mm.
power of a plant-based diet, among other things, exercise and water on your life. And we had been
Hmm.
vegan for a few years and saw how it changed our lives. And so we really were just like, okay, like we both are excelling at what we're doing in our professions, but like, how can we take our lives and something that we can do together to the next level? And,
Hmm.
did some soul searching and landed on Plant Life Meals. And so I like to call it like the Netflix for plant-based foods because it's a subscription. You get your food every week. We make it super easy. And the cool thing is most of our customers aren't plant-based or vegan. But
Mm.
since the world is really making this shift into being more sustainable, and a big way to be more sustainable is eating less animals, less dairy, and shifting to plants or plant products. It's been really cool to see. So we feel like even just in a short period of time that we've been operating, it's been so cool to see, you know, plant life come to life and how a lot of people have come on board who traditionally didn't eat a lot of plants in their diet are now really embracing it. So it's been really cool.
Yeah, when you were in public health, were you a little bit frustrated that you couldn't help these people like earlier on, like, like, oh, if only I had met you 5 years ago or something and helped you develop a different diet, then maybe this whole experience wouldn't be as catastrophic on your health. Was that part of your
Yeah,
thought?
exactly. I mean, originally I was on the path to medicine and I kind of stumbled upon the world of public health, and that's kind of the whole premise of public health is to help prevent things from happening on a larger scale. So when I went into it, I thought, okay, I'm I'm going to really help people prevent, illnesses or, chronic diseases. And I still found myself frustrated that I think I wanted a more immediate impact than I was
Mm-hmm.
having in the role that I was playing in my public health research, because a lot of research is kind of just observing for long periods of time. That way you can help people in the future. And I knew that, but I think the more time I invested in it, I I think I needed a shift in like where I
Mm-hmm.
was in that process. So it's been, yeah, so we hear like anecdotes from our customers about, how making some minor shifts in their life and their family's lives, how it's helped their exercise, blood pressure, things like that. So it's been really amazing to see. So
Yeah, that's awesome. Um, so do you want to tell us more about the food you offer? Like what type of things you're veganizing?
yeah, I mean, you name it, I'm sure we veganized it. So like on our menu right now, we've got cinnamon rolls, we've got lasagna that's been on our menu since the beginning. It's kind of a customer favorite. A black bean burger that people have said is the best burger they've had in Seattle. So that's pretty
Ooh.
cool. We love it. We've got a chili dog. Gosh, we've got so many things: pasta,
Yeah.
salad,
Breakfast
breakfast
items.
items, pancakes.
Yeah.
Um, we just kind of wanted to make it easy and for people to see items that they already relate to, like pancakes,
Mm-hmm.
lasagnas, hot dogs. So it's not like, oh, what is vegan? It's like they see these items and it's super easy for them to understand it and enjoy it. So it's not like they're eating anything different than they were before. It just happens to be vegan.
Yeah, that's awesome. So why did you decide to use world-centric compostable packaging as part of your vegan meals?
Yeah, go for
No, I was just
it.
thinking out loud. It was interesting because when we first started this, we knew, we stumbled upon information that was really compelling, and it felt, whether it be a documentary on how animals were treated or how the world was treated, and we just felt so like we have to try to at least be somewhat of a change we want to see, and really apply that somehow, and we knew that we could do that through providing vegan food or plant-based food. So we rushed to build this idea, and when we built it, we went out and got containers that we thought fit really well with our food. And they were plastic containers. We paid no mind we didn't even stop to think like, gosh, there's a more sustainable, better way to do this. It wasn't until we had some customers really call us out on it publicly.
Mhm.
Like, wow, look at all that plastic. We're like, oh my gosh, okay, let's make a
Yeah.
change. Let's make a change. And so we started kind of just shopping around. And there's a lot of companies out there um, that will provide compost packaging, but we're really just focused on brand, and we want to partner with companies that are talking about the importance and the impact of making a switch to compost.
Hmm.
It's a it's a massive impact. It's a massive, I guess, lever to pull, especially with the business
Hmm.
and for the amount of output that we have. But that was the initial driver. I was just thinking back at how early on the conversations were with our potential customers, and how they really held us accountable to what we were preaching, which was good. And so that was a big driver behind finding
Yeah.
you guys.
And we've evolved, as a business too. Like our first reason for going vegan ourselves were for health reasons. And we thought,
Hmm.
a lot of people were kind of doing the same thing. Um, but the more we learned about the benefits of a plant based lifestyle for the planet, we were like, okay, this is so much bigger than just our own individual health. Like, we really want to get people excited about, if they eat a plant-based meal, whether it be ours or, one that they created or bought somewhere else, like just telling them that impact that they're having. So I think a lot of people really want to do good in the world, but we're also busy. And so we just
Hmm.
really wanted to make it even easier for them to make an impact. And all they have to do is eat good food. So
Yeah. You know, and it can be exhausting. I know I get exhausted like trying to create all these meals all the time, you know, so it's like, and then you don't get to enjoy them as much, you know, they say something about you like smell it while it's cooking or something, or I don't know what the psychology is there, but it's something about eating something else that someone has made
Yeah,
Yeah.
that makes sense.
and it actually being a nourishing meal that you're like, oh my gosh, this is life changing.
Yeah, that's so true.
Yeah, that's a good point.
You probably get that a lot. So you talked about the positive impact on the planet. Can you like talk more about that? Like how you communicate this to customers for each meal delivered? And what has been people's responses when you start quantifying these environmental impacts from your meals?
Yeah, so what we have what's called plant life impact, and so for every specific order that our customer gets, they have a label that's specific for them. So we do some quick calculation based on how many meals they've purchased thus far and what that equates to. So we know that, you know, agriculture contributes to a lot of deforestation in the Amazon, for example, or raising cattle, you know, uses a lot more water than it does to, you know, grow soybeans, for example. So we can draw these connections to the plant-based meals that they're eating and show, you know, their metrics. So how many animals have they saved? How much water have they saved? How much forest have they saved? And how much CO2 output have they saved as well? So when we've, you know, we were having this conversation, you know, at a broad level of like, okay, this is so much bigger, you know, than the individual. This is for the planet. So how can we communicate it to them? So we came up with these labels, and the first week that we did it, people were like, oh my gosh, like this is so cool. Like they were so excited and they loved sharing their stats. And they should be super proud because they could choose to go a different route. But they
Mhm.
opt to do something that's better for the planet. And then we also share at the like company level our current stats. So like as of today, we've saved a total of 2.5 million gallons of water. I think over 2,000 animals. Um, so it's pretty amazing, you know, when people
Yeah.
come together, even, you know, just in the Seattle area for one business, it makes a huge impact.
Totally. Yeah, I remember I was researching meat a lot during the meat shortage that happened earlier this spring, or I don't know, what is time anymore? You know, uh, and you know, the meat industry is 18% of like all, you know, greenhouse gas emissions. So it's huge, its impact on the planet, and that doesn't even count in the water, like you mentioned, and you know, all the other sort of social impacts too on the people that are working in these factories and the communities that surround them. So,
Yeah.
Yeah,
you
and the
know, there's
rate
a lot of impacts too.
and the rate at which they continue to grow, right, with the population creates more demand. And that was one of the things too. Is I'm sure you've heard the saying of vote with your dollar. Like you can vote with your
Hmm.
dollar, and that was always interesting because we never had, I guess for myself, it was difficult to find transparency in where's my dollar going. Like how do I really know? Like I don't understand, you know. And I want to contribute to helping the planet become a better place, but I'm not going to go pick up trash on the highway. You know, it's just not. It's just I'm not going to go do that. But there's got to be an
Hmm.
easier way to feel really good about your purchase, and so that was a big, driver for us is to ensure that when people not only do they enjoy the food, but that they feel really good, that we can create a community by getting them excited about look at the impact that I have. Like little old me, I saved 5 animals. That's a big deal.
Yeah.
You know,
Hmm.
aside from taking them off the truck somehow, it's a big deal.
Yeah.
And so it was really well received, and people love that aspect. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. Um, so I guess we talked about pretty much all the environmental benefits of, you know, eating more of a vegan lifestyle. Is there any more that we did not cover?
Oh
I think
gosh.
we
I
covered
mean,
it all.
we're not experts in this area. I
Yeah.
mean, there's probably other things that like just haven't been studied that, you know, are
Yeah.
doing good for the planet. So I'm sure there are a lot more out there.
Yeah. I think there's steps 2 and 3 that come after, when people what to do with compost, right? I think a lot of people are
Mm.
starting to learn, hey, now that I've made this switch and I'm more aware of my purchasing habits and where my money's going, what can I do with these, with my containers that are left over, right? So I think there's still a lot of room for growth for us to help tell the story as to how they can take it further on their own.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so in Seattle area, you have curbside pickup of compostable containers, is that right?
Yeah, Seattle is, but we also serve outside of Seattle, and so a lot of the surrounding cities don't. Like for example, we live in
Mm.
Kirkland, and our complex doesn't have a compost set up for curbside pickup. So you kind of
Okay.
have to do your own due diligence to get that
Hmm.
arranged, which is unfortunate. But I think a lot of cities are really going in that direction, which is awesome.
Yeah. And it's so helpful just to have that, to be able to put that in there.
Yeah.
And yeah. So for people who may not be in Seattle and aren't able to subscribe to your meals, such as myself,
Oh.
I wish I could. I would love to have someone cook for me. Um, how can people easily start to change to more plant-based meals, or can you tell us more about your cookbook?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Um, Gosh, I mean, it's, I think, easier than ever to eat more plant-based. I mean, we first went plant-based 3 years ago, and I feel like it was a completely different landscape. Like, we would go out to dinner, and asking for vegan was such a, you know, almost taboo thing. But today, it's like you can go to any fast food chain and get, some type of plant-based option, which is really cool. At the grocery store, there's lots of different alternatives for cheese, for meat. I feel like we're sharing content every day about a different company who you would normally think would never introduce a product that's plant-based, are all shifting in that direction. So I think now is definitely the time. If you haven't tried eating more plant-based in your diet, it's better than ever. Um, and then, yeah, I created a really simple ebook a few years ago, um, because people kept asking for help. We were kind of the token vegans in our circle. So, and we were very like champions of the vegan lifestyle just because it was so helpful for us. I had really bad acne, and the moment I gave up
Mhm.
meat and dairy, it was like I had completely different skin. And David was having some back issues, and we're both pretty healthy people, so it was kind of strange to be experiencing those health issues. Um, and so we were really adamant about sharing our experience. And so I created a really simple ebook because I love cookbooks. I'm one of those people who can get a 500-page cookbook and sift through it and get really excited. But, people were like, gosh, it's so overwhelming. There's just so much information. Um,
Mhm.
so I wanted to create something really easy of just like, okay, how do you get started? Let's clean out your fridge, your pantry. What do you want to stock it with? And here are like some simple recipes for breakfast, lunch, dinner, and like a snack. So
Oh, that's
well,
awesome.
yeah, just you just got to make it easy, for people to start, because if anything's too difficult when you first get started, it's really intimidating. So I called it My Kind of Vegan, and it's available on our website, plantlifemeals.com. If you sign up for our mailing list, you get it free in your inbox. So anybody
Cool.
can access it if you just want to get started.
Hmm. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna access that. I was vegan, so now I'm thinking about getting back on, but I don't know, we'll see.
Yeah. A really interesting, easy way, I think, because I have a lot of buddies that will reach out and just inquire more about, they think it's, you have to jump this big chasm in order to live this way. And I tell them, I'm
Hmm.
like, next time you're at, Safeway or Fred Meyer or whatever's in your area, whatever grocery store's in your area, just if you're going to pick ice cream that night, just pick a plant-based ice cream as well and compare it. Have a nice
Yeah.
taste test at home.
Hmm.
Experiment with yourself, and not only will the taste win out today. I mean, again, to Liz's point, 3 years ago, maybe it wasn't the case. Definitely
Hmm.
5, 6, 7, 10 years ago was not the case. But today,
Yeah.
do a taste test, and not only do a taste test, but do like I guess a nerdy way to call it would be like an inflammation test, right?
Hmm.
See how you feel after you eat a black bean burger versus a beef burger. And not only should you compare the taste, but compare how you feel immediately after. The swelling in your body has become so normalized now after eating a meal, right? Thanksgiving, oh, I need to take a nap. You don't need to take a nap. That's not what's happening. Um,
Yeah.
but go taste test it, and I think you'll find that, hey, this is, if anything else, if this is just about me and the food I like to eat, this food just tastes a lot better. Um, if you want to feel better, test it, and I
Hmm.
think you'll notice we have before and after photos of just what felt like, man, we were almost like twice the size after a meal just from feeling and just
Just
inflated.
puffy, bloated.
You know,
You know,
it
the
just,
works.
yeah, it just felt like we were eating tons of salt, and it really wasn't the case. It was just from the inflammation of the food. And so I would just encourage people to prove the theory wrong, test it, really test it. That
Yeah.
way you can get behind it.
I think that's a really great advice. Well, it was great talking with you both today. Is there anything more that you would like to add?
Oh gosh.
No, I think, I don't think so. Thank you for being open to the conversation. We love your guys' product. We're excited to continue to shop around more and figure out what other, I guess, containers fit what we're going to be deploying for our business.
Hmm.
No, if you're considering going vegan, really consider it and really get your hands on it. The world needs it. People need it right now. And it's not such a far stretch. I think people will be pleasantly surprised if they just give themselves that opportunity.
Yeah, especially now that we're, all hanging out at home. Great time.
Exactly.
Great time to explore
That,
different types of cooking.
that's
Yeah.
right.
Um,
That's right.
well, I'm extremely jealous of everyone in the Seattle area that gets to enjoy your meals. So if you ever expand,
Yeah.
let me know.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Or if I'm ever up there, I'll have to hit you guys up
There you
for
go.
a meal.
Cool.
Well, thank you so much both for joining us. Your website again is
You
plantlifemeals.com.
got
Yes.
it.
Yeah. And I'm with World Centric, and thanks again for joining us
Cool.
today.
Thanks a
Hey,
lot.
bye.
Bye.